So for Secular Talk's 1000th episode special here, I'm answering some questions. These were sent in on Facebook. Kita Zemak Uto asked this question. From 1 to Shucky Ducky, how would you rate your job satisfaction at Secular Talk? Shucky Ducky now. I'd definitely say it's Shucky Ducky. It's top. It's... I'm just like anything else. Some days I'm tired and I want to break and this and that. But I would say I'm never below, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm never below an 8 or a 7. I'm always happy with what I'm doing because, dude, I mean, look, I'm not an idiot. It could be worse. I could be doing something I despise, working in a coal mine, or there's a million things you could do that you don't have freedom, don't have liberty, can't call your own shots. I get all that stuff. So I can't complain. It is a lot of work. Preparation is a bitch. And uploading and editing is a bitch. There are parts of the job that are annoying, but overall, I wouldn't change it for the world. Dylan James asks, what's your tip to a high schooler that is really interested in politics and wants to make it somehow their living? That's a really hard question to answer, Dylan, because I'm of two minds about it. On the one hand, people should pursue their dreams ruthlessly. Don't take no for an answer and just go after it. Because somebody's got to do these things. So if you want to do something that's hard to do, keep doing it. Eventually, maybe you'll be able to do it. Who knows? So part of me says always chase down your dreams. The other part of me is more practical, and I understand that if you look at everybody in the world, not everybody's going to end up doing their dreams, which is why I've always argued that we need a political system that allows people to have free time to do their dreams. A 4-day work week would be better overall for people, more paid vacation time, things like that. So either pursue your dreams ruthlessly and don't take no for an answer, or if that it's just not going to happen, if you're 4'9" and you want to be in the NBA and that's not going to happen, never give up on doing these things that constitute your dreams in your free time. You see what I'm saying? So never give up on them, but it's just a matter of what avenue you go. Can you do it to make a living? Sometimes it's just not possible. And if you can't, well, then just do it in your spare time and never feel bad about it. Okay, so that would be my answer for that. It's a tough question to answer, and it's a very smart question. William On asks, I love this one. What do you do for a living? Why do you hate Trump so much? I prefer Bernie first, then Trump. Is there corruption in U.S. education system? What do I do for a living? I'm just going to leave it there. Why do you hate Trump so much? He's a fucking idiot. Like, he's an idiot, man. I'm really angry at the people who are for Bernie and then they go, well, if not him, Trump. Like, I get not voting for Hillary. I get that. I'm not voting for Hillary. I'm in New York. But if you go to vote for Trump, you don't get what Bernie's been talking about. Donald Trump is clearly a bigot. He wants to ban all Muslims from entering the country. He's called Mexicans rapists. He's called, he said, I assume some are good people, but they're criminals, they're rapists. He wants to deport 11 million people. He doesn't believe in climate change. He says it's a Chinese hoax. He has said he would default on U.S. debt, which would lead to a worldwide depression. His tax plan adds trillions to the debt. It does Reaganomics and cuts taxes for the rich again. In so many ways, Hillary sucks. But Trump is worse. When people act like he's not, you're just not paying attention to the finer details and you're not being nuanced. It's sloppy thinking. And, it could be false equivalence too. Or I don't know, it's pretty bad. No, it's not. If he wants to deport 11 million undocumented immigrants, and Hillary Clinton sucks and she wants to deport, let's say, 1 million, which is a higher number? There's a 10 million person difference. That makes a difference to those 10 million people, doesn't it? Doesn't it? But people want to overlook that. No, I don't like Trump. Trump is a fucking buffoon, and he's a liar. I'm against free trade deals. Then why are you partaking in them? Your ties and shit are made in China, as you bash China. No, you're not going to change dick. You say, I don't raise money from big business. As you're begging big business for money, a former Jeb Bush donor is now somebody who's heading your fundraising activities, who you used to attack Jeb Bush for knowing this guy and raising money from him. Now you do it. He's a liar. He's a buffoon. He's a fraud. Okay, so no, I don't like him, and I don't like him because I shouldn't like him. And is there corruption in the U.S. education system? There's corruption in U.S. politics, period. It's massively corrupt, so I'm sure it might affect that in one way or another. Jed Quick asks, should universal education include textbooks? Yeah, why not? If we could spend money on fucking useless wars and we can spend money on pork barrel spending and corporate subsidies, which is a welfare check, yeah. don't spend on that. Cut that and add to textbooks. That'd be great. And then he asks, what level of pedophilia would you consider, if at all? None. I'm not attracted to kids. You? So here's the thing. Like, technically the word isn't pedophilia. There's a different word that means, like, the physical act of doing a sexual activity with kids. I forget what that word is, so forgive me on that. But that's the thing that should be illegal. Doing a sexual act with a kid, because the kid, by definition, can't consent. They don't know what's going on. They haven't reached the point where they've hit puberty where they even know what sex is in that way yet, so you can't even know what you're consenting to. So that should be illegal. I do think that pedophiles, they're not choosing to be that. So there's something off in their brain where the wires are crossed and they're sexually attracted to kids, whereas other people would look at a kid and just go, oh, adorable. Like, you want to protect the kid, right? But some people look and there's misfirings in the brain and they're like, I want to fuck the kid. And what we need to do is make it so that these people who know that it's wrong and don't want to act on it can seek help from psychologists and can seek help from the medical community, and they don't get judged for it because they know, hey, I'm not going to do it because I know it's wrong, but I have this issue and we need to address it. And then there's ways you can address it. If they so choose and they want to take drugs that suppresses their libido, whatever, there's probably ways to address it, but we do need to make it something that we can address in that way, as opposed to just saying those feelings are so wrong that we're going to lock you up even just based on those feelings, as opposed to the action. The action is wrong. The feeling should be treated and should be viewed with sympathy. Okay? All right, let me just squeeze in a few more here. I'm technically out of time. The live show is over, but I'm going to continue just so we could end up posting this on YouTube. Felix Kirsting asks, why is nationalism and patriotism a good thing? Why is there any value in artificially creating a situation of we versus them? And how can anyone in America still believe in such a thing as American exceptionalism? Okay, so to the last part, American exceptionalism, I don't know, it drives me crazy, but it's not just Americans, it's people around the world. Everybody has a supremacist feeling for their own clan. So go talk to a fundamentalist Muslim, and they're Muslim supremacists. We're better, you're worse, gay people are horrible, atheists are horrible, everybody sucks, we're the best. Go talk to right-wingers in any country. Hey, we're the best, everybody else sucks, and, pride for our country. America's the same, except we happen to be in the only empire in the world right now, so it comes across as we can do more damage because we have the biggest army. And the idea is, whatever we do is right by definition. We're upholding altruism and humanitarianism as we go around the world and literally do the opposite in some cases, by, for example, supporting Saudi Arabia, who's a Wahhabi terror state. But, I don't know, it's something that people need to break free of, this idea that we're good by definition, they're bad. And I think it's just a matter of familiarity. So, like, you know your family are good people, even if they happen to say bad things every now and then. Oh, they mean well, yada, yada. But it's hard for people to break that mindset and view other people in the same way. It's hard for people to think like, well, maybe people in France feel and act the same. Maybe people in Egypt feel and act the same. Maybe, we have more in common than we have that's different, and arbitrarily thinking we're better because of silly things like religion or nationalism, that doesn't make sense. So to drink the Kool-Aid and be like, we're better because we're this, I hate that. But I actually don't hate the idea of a nation state in general. So, I think, honestly, that's just for practical reasons. And I don't think it's an arbitrary we versus them. I think to have nation states just makes it so that things can run smoother. So, like, you can't have a universal healthcare system that incorporates the whole world and it's just one system, because it's just too hard, too bureaucratic, and too hard to put together. But if you shrink it and you break it up into 200 countries and each one tries to do their own thing with healthcare, that's different and that's better. So I'm not against the idea of a nation state. It just makes things go smoother. It also sets it up so you can have a tax base and then you can dole things out in terms of redistribution of wealth and have social safety nets and things like that. So I'm not against a nation state. In fact, I'm for nation states. I'm just against the hyper-nationalism and uber-patriotism that makes people think we're better by definition. Nobody's better by definition. You have to actually live up to your values in order to act in a way that is moral or ethical. You can't just say it and then act in the opposite way. And then final question we'll do here. What foreign country would you like to live in? Dave Atlas asked that. Good last name for that question. I'm an American, bro. You know where an American wants to live? America.